check out our streaming schedule for this week. We've got tons of content in terms of the NFL and college football, as we're going live just about every single day this week. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single moment where we go live. And now, on with our feature presentation. October 20th, 2024. It's week 7 of the NFL season, and we head to Buffalo for this AFC battle between the Buffalo Bills and the Tennessee Titans. I think it's safe to say that this season hasn't exactly gone according to plan for the main team in our story, the Titans, as despite making some big free agent acquisitions to try and surround Will Levis with talent, it hasn't quite worked out for them. Tennessee enters this game with a 1-4 record, and if they lose and drop to 1-5, their chances of making the playoffs are basically slim to none. Seeing as Buffalo is a double-digit favorite in this game, no one is giving Tennessee much of a chance at doing anything, and understandably so, seeing how bad they played all season. But as bad as they played on the field, the coaching? Well, the coaching is just as bad, if not worse. And we're going to get to that in just a bit. But before we do get to that and wrap up our Dumb Decisions episodes for week 7, if you like learning more about the history of the NFL, and you like seeing coaches screw up, then this is the place for you because we post a video every single day about the National Football League. So be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we post on the channel or a single time that we go live. Thanks in advance for your support as we try and hit 70,000 subscribers. As for how this game went, so far, the Titans were actually holding their own, as they had a 10-7 lead with about 44 seconds left and a timeout in their back pocket with the ball near midfield. Get about 20 yards, which you have more than enough time to do, and you can take a 6-point lead going into the half with a chance to double dip coming out of the halftime break. This is a golden opportunity for you if you can manage the clock properly and get yourself some yards. First down, and Mason Rudolph completes the pass to Tony Pollard inbounds for 2. Not good that he caught it, honestly, since the clock is running, but it's not a huge deal since you have a timeout to work with. So you take the time. Oh my god, you've got to be kidding me. Why is the clock running? Why is the clock still running? You literally have a timeout to work with, and you're not taking it? Are you trying to tank? What are you trying to do here? Why are you not taking the timeout, Tennessee? Why are you not taking the timeout?
Rudolph completes one to Okonkwo. He's immediately tackled by Taylor.
Great. Just great. You wasted all that time, and now you have 15 seconds to work with. Let me just check what the halftime score was and if you squandered that opportunity. And yeah, I thought so. Welcome to Dumb Decisions. Before I break down what happened here, this whole series is about taking an in-depth look at decisions made during games that were clearly awful from the start. This isn't something to look bad in hindsight. Rather, this is something to look awful almost immediately. These are moves where your gut instinct tells you right away that there is no way this could possibly work. And sure enough, your gut instinct was smarter than that of an NFL head coach. And for this one, we're taking a look at the mind of Tennessee Titans head coach Brian Callahan. If any coach has a good chance of being one and done, besides Jerome Mayo, it's gotta be Callahan, because man, the job he's done with Tennessee has been disappointing beyond belief. I get that he's been dealt an absolute crap hand at quarterback, seeing as his 2 options are career backup Mason Rudolph and a quarterback who's going to make 2 or 3 boneheaded plays a game in Will Levis that are things you've never seen before on a football field. But man, Callahan, just like his father when he was a head coach for the Oakland Raiders, has no feel for the game whatsoever. He just doesn't. We saw him bungle the end-of-game situation against the New York Jets back in Week 2, which you can learn more about by clicking the card in the upper right corner. And now, we saw him completely botch the end-of-the-half situation, because apparently, this man right here has no idea when to take a timeout and when not to take a timeout. It's like whatever voice in his head tells him to make decisions is intentionally sabotaging him, because otherwise, I've got no other explanation as to how he's so bad at in-game management. I know it's only his first year, but come on. So with that being said, let's take a look at why not calling a timeout with 39 seconds left, and instead, letting all that time run off the clock is a really bad idea. And in actuality, you could take this all the way back to what happened on the drive before, when on 3rd down, the Titans stopped the Bills short of the first down line with 1:47 left, bringing up 4th and 2. The Titans had a timeout and they opted not to take it, as they let 40 seconds run off the play clock before Buffalo punted it away. I didn't agree with that whatsoever, but I can at least somewhat understand the logic. Your offense is obviously not any good, and most sane people want to gouge their eyes out watching this team play. You've got the lead. If you call your final timeout right then and then you go 3 and out, especially with Buffalo having all of their timeouts, there's a chance that you could be giving it back to the Bills with plenty of time to do something before the halftime break and tie it up or take the lead. So I get the idea of not taking a timeout there and letting the 40 seconds run off, because at least by letting that time run off, you're guaranteed to go into the halftime break with the lead barring anything crazy. A bit cowardly, a bit safe, a bit conservative, I guess, but I at least understand the logic there, especially going up against Josh Allen, even if plenty of teams with actual quarterbacks would have called the timeout right away and wouldn't have feared the possibility of giving it right back to Buffalo. But the lack of a timeout with 39 seconds left? Inexcusable. Completely and utterly inexcusable. At the end of the day, an NFL team has to worry about 2 things: scoring points and not allowing points. I know that sounds pretty obvious and simple, but when you break it down, that's what it comes down to. Score points and don't allow points. Be attractive, don't be unattractive. Your reasoning for not calling the timeout at 147 is that you didn't want to risk the possibility of Buffalo scoring points if you didn't score points yourself and you had a quick 3 and out, which again, I get, even if I'm not entirely crazy about it. But I can assure you that if you call the timeout with 39 seconds left, by this point in the half, it's over. The chances that Buffalo scores anything and goes into the halftime break tied or with the lead are slim to none unless you turn it over and do something stupid yourself. Because let's say you call a timeout with 39 seconds. Your 2 plays after that don't do anything and take 5 seconds off the clock each, and you go 3 and out and are forced to punt it. The Bills are getting it back with somewhere in the ballpark of 22 seconds left inside their own 20-yard line. Maybe inside their own 10, because Ryan Stonehouse is one of the best punters in football and one of the only bright spots on this godforsaken team. You think they're going to try anything? You think they're going to risk that possibility with that little time left, needing to go about 45 to 50 or even 60 yards in 22 seconds? No, they're not going to. The threat of Buffalo scoring for the remainder of the half has been eliminated. It has been eradicated. You do not need to worry about that whatsoever. So getting back to the 2 objectives of football with scoring points and not allowing points, there is no way whatsoever that you can allow points. Unless you turn it over, Buffalo is going into the half with 7. Which raises the question: if you're not even 20 yards away from field goal range, then why the actual heck would you not try and score? Why would you not burn a timeout with a running clock and give yourself more chances to get down the field and get into field goal range? This isn't as though you're at your own 10-yard line where it's unlikely that you do anything. And this isn't as though that play was 3rd down. This was the first play of a drive starting at your own 40-yard line. You had a golden opportunity to score and extend your lead to 13-7 if you just managed the clock properly, and you wasted it. Plain and simple, you wasted it. By letting the clock run down to 21 seconds, you wasted a whopping 18 seconds in between plays for no reason whatsoever. You know how much time 18 seconds is? It changes everything. It literally changes everything. If you call a timeout with 39 seconds left, you can use the middle of the field if it's there, because obviously you'll have plenty of time to get to the line and spike it and whatnot. If you don't, then the literal moment you don't get out of bounds, you've got to burn your timeout, and the field shrinks from that point on until the end of the half, because the defense doesn't need to cover the middle of the field, seeing as you can't go to the middle of the field because the clock would run out because you have no timeouts available at your disposal. With 39 seconds left, you've got time for 6 or 7 plays before you've got to try the field goal. With 21 seconds left, that number is cut in half, and you've got time for 3, maybe 4 plays. Last time I checked, you want to score. You need to get down the field to do so you want the maximum number of opportunities to do this. It's like a test. If I need to get 5 questions right in order to pass, let it be a 50-question test versus a 5-question test. So which gives you more opportunities to score? Which gives you more chances to score? Having 39 seconds and 6 or 7 plays? Or having 21 seconds and having 3 or 4 plays? It's the bigger number. Of course it's the bigger number. Why wouldn't it be the bigger number? No wonder the Titans stink. They have a coach that can't count. Well, count this. 5. That's the number of losses you already have this season, and it's why you're going nowhere this year. It amazes me that a team wouldn't take advantage of great field position and would mismanage the timeout situation, even when trying to score. But here we are. If the Titans were running the clock out and wanted to go into the half 10-7, different story. But clearly, they were not doing that. So they had every intention of scoring and had no idea how to operate a 1-minute drill scenario because their head coach didn't use timeouts, thereby wasting 20 valuable seconds for no reason. Nothing about what Callahan did in this game made any sense. So you play conservative in this spot for no reason at all, but you go for it on 4th and a long 2, I'd even say 2.5, in your own territory, and you run into a Buffalo box with 9 defenders in it, even though by not picking up the first down, you give the ball to Buffalo with them right on the cusp of field goal range, with a chance to tie and momentum on their side? Does this man have any feel for the game at all? Honestly, does this man have any feel for the flow of the game and what to do in certain spots? It feels as though Brian Callahan is completely clueless. He's clueless as to when to call timeouts. He's clueless as to when to not call timeouts. He's clueless as to when to call certain plays. He's clueless at just about everything. His strategies make no sense and contradict themselves regularly, and perhaps no game highlighted that more than his disaster class against Buffalo, especially from the timeout management standpoint at the end of the first half, which, simply put, was inexcusable on every possible level. Now, when it came to what happened after the incident involving this team behind me right here, no one, not one person from the Tennessee media, asked Brian Callahan why the heck he did this. Not one person asked Callahan what his timeout management was at the end of the first half, and why he basically denied his team a chance at getting points, even though they had every opportunity in the world to do so. I don't know why no one asked the question, but regardless of whether they scored or not, everything remains the same for Tennessee. The future is very, very bleak. It is very grim. This is a team that, especially in the wake of the DeAndre Hopkins trade, does not have a whole lot of talent on that roster, and it's going to be a very long season the rest of the way. This decision, this coaching staff, not crazy about either one of those. So what do we learn from all of this? If you have a realistic chance to score without risking the possibility of allowing points yourself, then give yourself the most amount of chances to do it. Give yourself the most number of chances to increase your total when it provides no risk to you whatsoever. If you have 6 or 7 plays to score and increase your lead, that bodes better for you than having 3 or 4 plays to do so. Therefore, it's a bad idea to bypass those extra plays if you have no reason to do that. If you're doing things when there's no logical reason to do them, then maybe you shouldn't be coaching at this level. If you don't know when to call your timeouts, then maybe you shouldn't be coaching at this level. And if you don't know how to manage the game properly, then maybe you shouldn't be coaching at this level. Because when all these elements are in play, you can't exactly be surprised when this play backfires. Talk about a dumb decision. Be sure to like and subscribe if you have not done so already, as it helps the channel out a lot. And check out my other channels, JG8 for the history of college football, JG7 for the history of baseball, and JG9 News, where we talk about all things happening in the NFL. Join me every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we'll play live NFL trivia for cash prizes. And make sure to join me live, as we're on stream just about every single day. And thanks to all our Patreon members and our YouTube members for helping out the channel. See how you become a member and show your support financially in the description down below.